developments today, setting up a PNGtuber. Um, this is how it looks. It's like kind of too sensitive right now, so like if I click my mouse, it'll still activate, as you can see. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I might end up uh, making like a more complicated one that has like eye tracking on it or something that like follows my mouse cursor later on. But I think this will do for now. So yeah, let's get back into this. Oop. That is extremely loud. Okay. So I said I was gonna finish this, but like I realized like this is actually like too much. It's just too much. So I wanted to make sure that I did it on stream. Um, and I already have like a basic idea of what I want the page after this to be. It's gonna be like a completely silent quote unquote page with no dialogue. And it's just gonna be them walking, and it'll be a chance to show off the environment some more. But let's clean this up. So we can turn the opacity down here. We can, oh actually, let's merge this. Turn the opacity down. Oh god, okay. Where's that last speech bubble? Okay. We're good to go. We consult the script. I think actually like maybe like having his fists in frame because like he's so excited. Could be cool. Which, you know, given the events of the last scene might not make too much sense, but I don't know. Part of his character is he just like appreciates vistas and like the natural world and stuff. So Knuckles. Actually, no. I think that would work better if maybe like if the shot was zoomed out more. But the fact that it's not makes it not look good, in my opinion. Okay. Let's do this. Something like that, maybe. His face is like way too stretched out. Like that's what I'm noticing here. Let's move these down. And that issue only happened because of the underlying sketch that I drew. So okay. I want to make sure my playlist is on shuffle. Hold on. Okay, it is. We're good. Yeah, this is better. I feel like his eye should maybe be moved this way. Because I only ever draw him with one eye. I just want to make sure that it's like not too close together to the other implied eye that we don't actually ever include. Okay. That's good. I was gonna work on the map too a little bit, so maybe I'll do that at the end if I can finish this page during this stream. Okay, I really like that. Let's just erase this bit though. Ooh, and don't forget the thing on the nose. The thing on the nose. Or maybe we could start foregoing that and just shading it in when it's time to do colors. That could work too. Okay, let's go ahead and flip this. The math definitely needs to be fixed. Ooh, that adds a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Rotate. Much better. Much better. Kind of a long neck. Yeah. Okay, and then let's just make sure that this is centered in the frame, or in the panel, I mean. Got the backpack. And that's that, pretty simple. Of course, we're not going to have to draw a background for this because this is just going to be like, it's going to be the tunnel behind him. So we could just go for like a solid flat color and be done. Easy enough. We're off to a pretty good start. Oh, why did that go off twice? Oh my gosh. Monkey Pain? Is this software or website? Are you talking about the little PNGtuber thing I have, or are you talking about the art program? Because the art software is Clip Studio Paint, and that's something you have to download. The software that I use for PNGtuber stuff is also something you have to download, but I can link that if you're interested. It's free to use. Yeah, so it's Clip Studio Paint. It is also a paid software, unfortunately, but it goes on sale pretty often. So, welcome to the stream, by the way. Currently working on my webcomic. And there's a link in the description if you want to read the chapters that I've released so far. Let's see, what does he say here? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, like, since most of this is going to be covered by fog, oh, okay. Yeah. Since most of this is going to be covered by fog, it doesn't really communicate the sense of scale as much as I would have liked, but that's why we're going to use the next page to really get some environment shots going. Okay. Let's put everything on a separate layer. I definitely want to practice drawing the back of Lilia's hair, because I figured out a new method that I think looks really cool. So it's basically just like a circle. We've got these two parts right here, and then we have a middle part that goes straight down, which I like a lot better than the way I used to do it. Oh, also, that reminds me, I might have made a mistake on this page. So yeah, for this, I might want to include her sword, but I actually don't think it would be high up enough on her back for that to be visible. So, but we are going to have to include it here. Okay. Let's do one of these. Flip it. Okay, that is a little bit lopsided. A little bit lopsided. Copy. Paste. Maybe rotate that a bit. But that makes me want to rotate this side too. And then this needs to be a bit more even. Okay. I think we should just leave that as is. Maybe have this curve in a bit more. Yeah, much better. It actually kind of looks like her head is turned slightly this way, which I like. Let's make sure it is the correct scale. Okay. Got the armor. Hello? Where's my music? Oh. This track just has a really slow start to it. Dude, what the fuck? You're now a literal furry? I know. It's crazy. Welcome to the stream. So I realized that they're standing so close to each other that they're actually going to overlap a little bit. I don't know if I want Lilia to be standing in front of him slightly or behind him slightly. Yeah. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well too. Thank you. All right. Let's add the sword real quick. Something like this type deal. Oh wait, no. I need to erase this layer. There we go. Just make sure that is clear. And sword is complete. Okay. Oh. Actually, I think a simple kind of cheaty way to do this would be to just grab this and then flip it around. Okay, so this is a blank layer. So grab that. And then we can just erase everything but the silhouette. Okay. Just some random spikes here. Okay. Then actually, all of this is going to be gone. I don't know why the eraser is so tiny. Okay. And also I decided I want to change the name of this location again because a lot of the other locations in this comic are either one word or they're like a conjunction of two words. So I kind of want a bit more consistency in that regard. Okay. That's... Yeah, that's fine. Let's do the horizon line. Next chapter. Okay, sorry. So next chapter, I mean, we're still working on the layouts for this, so it might be a while, but it'll happen when it happens. And sorry I didn't respond to that. Like, I don't have the stream open on my phone anymore, so I basically have to use this widget to send me to play audio when people talk in chat, and sometimes it doesn't work. So, but yeah. How do I want to do this? I feel like this would look so much more interesting if there were like these little hills or like plateaus, but like also I want to keep this like a lowland sort of swamp area, so it doesn't really make sense for there to be anything in the far distance. And this whole place is going to be covered in fog. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Is that going to be something that I like paint, or do I want to use line art to communicate that? I have no clue. Anyway, let's just focus on these buildings. Buildings. I almost want to make this like even lower, so like there's a bit of overlap here. I think that would look cool. Ooh, let's have like a really tall one. Hmm. Okay, cool. And then we just have this super far away one over here. Hmm. Okay. The last thing we need to do is just erase the horizon line. And then we can do the speech bubble. All right. All right. Next panel. I feel like there definitely needs to be like more. I'm just gonna have to redraw this whole line because we need to actually include her face, and that does not give us enough room for that. Okay, I do like this eye, but it's a little bit too high up. Maybe somewhere around there. Ooh, and I'm really happy with this nose shape. That's a bit too much. Looking good. I'm so glad that I spent the time like setting this all up, because now like the more detailed version is just taking so much less time than it would have otherwise. All right. A simple line right here. And then I kind of like the idea of having his shoulder be like at an angle here. And the vertex kind of lining up with that. That'd be cool. Let's start with this line here. Make a rounded rectangle. These. Oh. We have the backpack. The backpack is gonna have to go down here. It's gonna have to extend further. Because having it line up with this just feels awkward, but it doesn't feel awkward here because the lines are going in two different directions. That. I just want to check YouTube chat real quick. I'm like paranoid that my widget isn't working. Okay, never mind. Get the neck. Is there music on both sides of the planet? If so, what? What? Are you talking about like the waveform thingy I have on the top and the bottom of the stream? Hmm. I think I like this expression. I like this nose too, but it feels off model slightly. I think maybe it needs to go out further. Might be the issue. Hmm. Okay. Erase that. No, that actually looks worse. Okay. That's a decent mouth. Oh no. Dang it. Well, it's gone forever, so. Hmm. Maybe if his mouth was open slightly? Because he is talking. You meant both half of the planet. Both half of the planet where both the demons and hunters reside? Um. So. Um. You mean like this area and this area? Um. So. How do I explain this? The Vaunt demons exist all over the planet. They don't just live in one area. They're just everywhere. Um, but the people like hunting the Vaunts, most of them live up here in Astaria. And then like this whole like middle continent here, uh, it's like kind of like its own thing, but like most of the people uh living here are like under Astarian rule. So uh and I honestly I haven't even considered what the music in this universe would sound like, but that is a very good question. Uh, does this need to be higher up? Yeah. I think that's good. Whoa. Okay. Here. Cool. Eh. He doesn't need to have a chiseled jawline. Hmm. See, like I kind of like that hair placement, but I want to make sure that his eyebrow is still visible. So we'll just do this. Actually, wait. This feels weird now. Oh. It was mostly a question because the ambient sounds remind me of a song I know. Okay. Which song? I will say for this playlist that we're listening to right now, like some of the songs on here are sort of like in tune with the vibe that I want the comic to have, but I have a different playlist that I made that is like specifically like the soundtrack for like how I would imagine this universe to sound if it was like an anime, like that would be the soundtrack basically. So maybe I'll play that at some point. Um, this feels weird. Like this feels like it needs to be at a steeper angle. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Hmm. Erase. And then make that. Ooh, that's too much. Oh, that's really cool. That adds like so much depth to it and like dimensionality to it. Gotta keep it subtle though. Okay. I think that is that. Just gotta add a few more finishing touches. Okay. Uh, just add the background really quick. Background. This is still super hard for me to visualize in my mind, but this can do that. And it's gonna get covered up by a speech bubble anyway, so well, I guess we still don't technically know how it's gonna look in the final page, so let's just add that just in case. So we have somewhat of a guide. Oh, and actually, like, this is way too small. Like, he needs more sizable spike right there. And then maybe, like, yeah. Just to make it easier to add shadows and stuff. Okay. What did I write? Okay. There we go. Actually, there is an ellipses right there. Just worried. Get rid of that. My handwriting's really bad. There we go. And one more panel to go, and then we're done with this page. Cool. Yeah, looking good. Okay. Actually, before I go any further, I do want to adjust the anatomy here a little bit because I think it's a bit off. Like, this... I think I need to start with the forearm first, moving that back. And then let's see. This arm is going to need to be lowered too. Wait, no. Just do this. Okay. So, since this is kind of like foreshortened, it doesn't really apply. Okay. I think that's fine. Actually, wait, no, I think the torso needs to be taller too. Yeah, something more like that. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna draw the characters first and then just make a new layer into the background. Where to start? Oh. Why are you blue? This underlying sketch that I did here really is like so basic. I almost want to do like another iteration before I even start drawing the characters. Like, okay. Also, I think this needs to be at a different angle too. Like, it's just awkward. Something like that would be more natural, I think. But then the hand needs to be at a different rotation. Wait, what if this was foreshortened? How would that look? Hmm. Um. Wait, you sent so many messages and it didn't even give me the notification. What the heck? I'm so sorry. On the topic of noise are the voices of characters a factor when exploring their design and actions? You mostly play pretend with OCs you create. It helps explore their lives, I guess. Um, are you talking like voice claims and stuff? Um, because I currently don't have voice claims for any of these characters. Um, except for one. Uh, Mara. My voice claim for Mara, who isn't in this chapter, but she was in the previous few chapters. Voice claim for Mara is this hyperpop artist called like Sorsha Dream, I think. It's like, I don't even know how do you spell it, or how do you pronounce this? No. Saoirse?
Saoirse.
Yeah. Saoirse Dream. So, yeah, anyway, and the song is Janitor of Lunacy by Nico. Okay. Yeah, I don't have voice claims yet for the rest of the cast, but maybe in the future I will. Um, let's see. I was trying to fix this. Yeah. Maybe it could even be like all the way up. Whoa, my computer lagged. I feel like if I just change the perspective on this hand, it'll be fine. It'll work out. Yeah, I like that a bit better, but I think the rotation just needs to be changed slightly. Actually, no, the thing with this is there could be some depth going this way. Like back here would be further away in space. Let me try to visualize this using a grid. It'd be like this type deal. So the forearm would actually be in front of the hand, if that makes sense. Yeah. Perfect. I'm really sorry. I don't know why the chat widget thing is not working. I feel really bad that I missed people's messages. This is cool. Okay. Okay, this top spike actually is a bit off. Sure. I don't actually think that changed anything, but whatever. We could just do the big circle eye thing. This line is always really awkward. I don't know how to make this look better. Eh. Okay. Okay, actually, this whole thing needs to go like this way, because this doesn't actually account for the entire head. Okay. Better. And this could actually go in. Yeah. Cool. Neck. And then you might see a bit of this, but definitely not from this because it's going to be obscured. Okay. Hmm. Bro. What the fuck? How is this gonna look? Ooh, actually, like extending this all the way might actually be cool. Like, that's like a huge exaggeration, but it's fine. Gives it a sense of depth. Like if we take this to its logical conclusion, like it would be like this type deal. Okay. And then maybe we could even like do one of these, like yes. Perfect. Perfect. Um okay. Drawing arms is tricky. For me at least. I feel like it needs to be skinnier. Maybe. Okay, yeah, something about this feels weird proportionally, and I don't know what it is. Hmm. Okay, I'm on the right track. I want his thumb to be like bent downwards. Is that even possible? No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is possible. Um, okay. This is decent. I think it needs to be resized. Hmm. I'm trying to make this pose with my actual hand, and when I do, the thumb is curved to the side. So Okay. Also, these fingers need to be shrunken down. If we just foreshorten everything past the first finger joint, I think that's what we gotta do. Erase this. I think it's about where this is positioned. That's where the issue lies. We just have a straight line here. Okay. Now the arm looks off. Maybe if I just rotate this a bit. How's that? Okay. That's fine, actually. Yeah. Let's smooth out this. Um, all right. Let's fix this neck. Uh, okay. Cool. Time for the other arm. But now this looks really. Maybe the reason it looks awkward is because. No. No, this just needs to be moved. Draw an arc here. Or like a perfect circle. Can we do that? Okay. That's a bit better. This line here makes it really bad. Let's just start with lines, and then we can draw the fingers in later. I don't think pinky fingers are that long. Might want to actually change the angle on this. Okay. Let's see. Can I actually perspective warp this part of him? Would that help? No. Okay. Also, I just want to acknowledge this. So for me, when I was deciding where to put the speech bubbles for this, I thought that the most readable place to put Faye's speech bubble is like coming out of his armpit. Which is kind of awkward, but like I figure it's like it's left to right and then up and down. So since there's no left to right here, we have to just put them on top of each other. Because like ideally, it would be like right here, but then it would have him speaking first, and I want Lilia to be speaking first. It's the sort of thing you have to consider. Okay. So he's oh wait. The most crucial aspect of this whole operation is the backpack. Okay. Nice. Let's keep this visible, but turn down the opacity. Because at this point, like, the final version is like drastically different from the sketch. You're technically the longest person I've seen anyone draw in about a year. That's crazy because I've had longer streams than this. Like, just go back on my channel. I have like 5-hour streams. And is that even okay? So this finger here is like a bit wider than this one, which could be caused by like the fingers overlapping a bit, which I think is cool. And then the thumb would be like right down there. It's weird because like I'm starting to see this hand and like visualize it as being angled in this direction. Like it just looks like it's pointing that way. Which I think is cool because we have the arm going in all these different directions. I know that's not really a verbose way of saying it, but I'm trying to get better at like describing why I think something looks good. And honestly, I need to do like a lot more like study of just part in general. But okay. Scarf. I'm kind of worried about if this is gonna yeah, I think I already messed up the proportions on this. Like, bicep definitely needs to be longer. Or wait. I think having this be pointed at such a steep angle kind of makes it not look like it's foreshortened. Because, like, the more something is just a circle, the more foreshortened it is. If it's a cylinder, then that means that you're seeing it from the side. Okay. Let me just redraw this. It's going to lead to the pose feeling a bit less dynamic, but you just have that go straight back and then something like that. Video paused, continue watching, yes. Okay. Let's just make this sharp points for the elbow. Actually, that's too much. That's a bit too much. All right. How is this gonna look? Oh my gosh. I think we actually need more space for the leg itself. And then something like this. Yeah, okay. Okay. This other arm is probably gonna need even more adjustments, but let's just keep it as its own separate layer for now, and then we can make those adjustments separately. Let's just start with a rectangle instead of splitting it up. Okay. That actually looks pretty good, I think. I want to make sure that the hands are the same size. Make sure these wrinkles make sense. Okay. Let's rotate this and shrink it down so that it matches. Okay. Well, actually, no, because that elbow does not match at all. Okay, I know what to do. We're going to split this up even more. Delete. New layer. And... okay. That's better. Ooh, and then it's going to cover up this little void of negative space that was here before. I think actually having this rotated even more and really exaggerating it would help. Wait, this is starting to look really cartoony. Like, yeah, that's very funny. Hmm. If I rotate the other arm, I think it would look good. Yeah, the other arm has to match. Okay. Yeah, if we can get these to sort of be at the same angle, I think that would make it look a bit more natural. Okay. Erase this weird bump. Then the hand is going to have to be rotated too, of course. Of course. But that still feels like it's like extending out too far. Dang. Um. Okay. I realize this is something we're also definitely going to have to flip at one point. Just to make sure it is symmetrical. But see, like, I like this. This is, like, much more appealing to look at now, I think, because there's, like, this rectangle that's being formed. We can break the whole thing up into just, like, really basic shapes. I like it. I like it. Dude, where is this? This has to go. What is this square even supposed to be? What am I looking at right now? Oh, this is like, that's that. Their sleeve hanging down. But the way this is looking now, like I feel like the perspective on that would be entirely different, so. Okay. This is already just like a complete eldritch horror of layers. Like I don't know what's what anymore. So I'm gonna try to consolidate some of these. I don't know what that word means, but I'm gonna merge them. It looks like if Burnt Jam was a PNGtuber. I'm gonna look that up right now. Um, is that a song by Weezer? Did I just get Weezered? Oh my god. I just got Weezered. How embarrassing. God damn it, dude. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hmm. Okay. So I'm looking at this right now, and like we have these arrows that are sort of like implied by these shoulder plates, and I think there's an issue with this one. Like, go back. This one could potentially maybe be fixed. Like, I think this is just too high up. It's maybe what's causing it. Mm. And then also, I think this scarf could maybe be moved over here. Okay. Time for the face. What did you say? If you made him and then e-hot about that. Huh. Did you mean to say like chat? Pablo Alto just subscribed. Thank you for the sub. I'm sorry, I do not understand what is meant by this message. I'm slow. Okay. This is a good start. I'm just gonna draw this as its own like separate disconnected thing, and then can attach it later. It sounds very creepy, but hmm. Okay, so one thing I've learned is like the eyes need to be like in the middle of the arc, if that makes sense. How do you make dynamic poses? Um, I don't know. I'm very new to doing like uh full body drawings. Like most of my art is like art from the shoulders up, like basically like this. So this is all very new to me, but one thing that I think has helped is trying to bend like every joint possible. So like if you have the arm, you can like break it up into different sections like that, but if you make sure every joint is at an interesting rotation, then you can do some cool stuff. Honestly, I don't know if this is probably like not a typical way of drawing, but the way I've been doing it is uh like basically just like isolating specific parts of limbs and then like making sure that I'm happy with their overall position in the image and then like just attaching them. And it's usually because I've made mistakes early on, like in the sketching phase, that I need to correct. Or like the idea that I have for a pose completely changes as I'm making it. That's good. The ear's gonna be right here. And she's gonna be angry. Let's see. Mm, I like them better when they're just triangles. Yeah, something like that. Mm, what do I want the mouth to be? Yeah, something like that. Okay. That's gonna do that. And then maybe her little side things are gonna be like sort of angled out this way more because she's moving swiftly. Yeah, I like that. Mm, I don't know how I feel about that though. I feel like maybe this almost needs to like curve more, like eh. It's gonna look better when it's like fully in the correct position, I think. Mm, mm. I think only that one would be visible. Or something like that. But now Faye looks really tiny. Okay. Um. Hmm. Hmm. I guess like there is a bit of perspective going on, so can consider that. Hmm. Okay. We just gotta add the sword and then oh wait. We add the sword and then we flip it. And then we're done. So it's gonna be like this type deal. Could have this part coming out there. Okay. Simple enough. Hmm. Erase. Let's merge everything. Oh no, not that. Okay. Clean this up and then flip it. Oh god, okay. So I'm noticing some issues with this arm here. But I think that's actually aside from maybe the head needs some issues or has some issues. That might be the only thing that we really need to fix with Lilia. Like, I feel like this upper arm is just too wide. So maybe if we pushed it back a bit. And then like let it start here. Yeah, that feels a bit more natural. What happens if we rotate this too? But let's consider this. Yeah, that still looks fine. For some reason, I feel like this needs to stick out farther. Yeah, that's exactly what that needs. Because then it forms this this line. Hmm. But now the legs. I don't know how I feel about the legs now. How does it look this way? Okay. Wait. I think to really push this even further, like having the head be slightly lower could help too. I don't exactly know why. Yeah. I just like that better. I don't know why. Now we can focus on Faye. I think the only major issue that I have is like with the shape of his head. And then also I think these spikes could use some work. But I don't know if I'm capable of making them look good. Ah, geez. Ah, geez. These first two look okay. You know what? I'm just gonna deal with it. I'm just gonna deal with it. Um, I actually want to consult my rule of Z again because this is kind of a major deviation from what I originally planned. So I want these to be low down enough that the speech bubble has its own space. Hmm. Uh, I really like the sense of balance here. Like the characters take up this bit of the frame here. Um, and then we also have this separating the factory from the open sky. So like these, well, actually the line would be right here, technically. These kind of line up. we're just seeing them from opposite perspectives. All right. Let's draw the background. It's gonna be pretty simple for this one. That. And I decided I want them to be like on a giant staircase that sort of extends out over this pool of blood water. And then that'll connect to the quote unquote mainland, even though it's like a swamp. Okay. Let's think. Do we want there to be clouds? I think that could be cool. If I can draw an appealing cloud, that'd be nice. So this is a good start, but I want to add at least like one more so that there's maybe a sense of contrast. But have them be offset so they're not just stacked on top of each other. Okay. Speech bubble time. Don't erase that. Oh my gosh. Oh, and also, this neck just looks weird, so we're gonna redraw that. Okay. Sick. This looks really good, I think. So now I'm starting to reconsider this because we have the sword. Here. We have this shape right here. This is a shape that we've created. This is a really small space for a speech bubble, and there's also this sword here, which adds some extra detail. And I think it would be better to put a speech bubble somewhere on the panel where there isn't as much detail going on. Or at least like not like important details. So I actually do want to change the order of the speech bubbles here and have him talk first, or him be the one that we read first. I want to put it like over here somewhere. Well, actually, no. Let's actually rethink this, because that would affect the flow of reading. I want every page to follow this flow that we've laid out here. So I want the speech bubbles to be along this line if possible. Okay, actually, We could put it right here. Maybe we could just have the tail. Actually, yeah, that's really cool because like giving it a longer tail makes it more eye-catching, I think. And it also fits with sort of the movement that he's acting out right now. He's getting pulled along here, and the speech bubble has this long whoa. Um it kind of looks like a sperm cell, but we're not going to talk about that. Um anyway, let's erase that and then have him say whoa, whoa. I'm wondering if like there's maybe a better thing that I could have him say, because that's pretty generic, but I don't think it really matters that much. Also, exclamation points. I think that's all we really need here. This is cool. What's it called? This is my webcomic. It is in the description if you want to read the chapters that are out right now. It's called Sin Like Me. Um, I think we're finally done. Oh my gosh. 2.5 hours? Bro. Uh, let's get rid of that and get rid of that. And then maybe erase. Let's just merge everything down, and then we can clean up anything that needs to be cleaned up. Erase that. Okay. I'm just giving it one last look before we move on. Okay, yeah. We are done. I feel like that was faster than a lot of the other pages in this chapter. 13. Still have a bit more to go. I think we're maybe a little bit over halfway at this point. Not entirely sure. You enjoy the sharp edges, makes it look grungy alt kinda. They nice. I mean, alt is definitely what I'm going for here, so I'm glad that it fits that vibe. Uh, okay. Hmm. So, before I start a new page, I do want to do like a slight diversion and work on the world map a little bit more because this is going to be important because this is the area that we're going to be exploring during the next maybe like 3 or 4 chapters. Uh, so first thing I want to add is some rivers. Because I spoke about this earlier, but I feel like um, rivers would look cool here. And then maybe we can even No, that looks strange. Like having a river that just leads nowhere. That's weird. And I don't think that's even. Yeah. We're gonna have like deltas around here. I really should be looking at reference images for this, but something like that maybe. Hmm. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Um. So we've already established there are going to be a bunch of these little buildings, structures around here. I don't actually know what the lore for this place is yet. Like, originally when I designed it, it was only going to be this, uh, which is the Bont Hive itself. But like, uh, this panel here made me realize that if I just have one tower sticking out of the fog, it just makes it really obvious where they need to go. Um, and the only other option would be to like rewrite the script, and I really like how it is, so I'm just gonna change up the world. So we have a bunch of these. I want to maybe add like some trees around the coastline. That could maybe be cool, but like dead trees. And like the center is gonna be uh like a swamp. Hmm. If I have trees out here, I definitely want them to like follow a pattern and sort of continue on these other islands too. Okay, let's just for now let's just balance this out. Put some more structures around here. On the other side. I suppose this area could maybe be like just like an ancient ruined settlement. I have no idea what these buildings are. Maybe they're apartments, futuristic apartments. Um, this whole forest is probably gonna need to be shrunken down too. Just because I realized the sense of scale that we're actually working at here. Yo, you make dark ambient music if you ever want to try it. It's on an alt. You're enjoying the music in the background, so that's why. No pressure. I will definitely check it out. I mean, I'm a huge fan of ambient music, uh, and music in general, so oh yeah, definitely. Um, okay. And I'm gonna shrink this down too. But if you want the song that we're listening to right now, it is Mistakes with Magnitude by Rashida Prime. Mistakes with Magnitude? Yeah. This clearing is gonna have to be a lot smaller. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit better. Okay. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to add is something here for this little section of the map. I was thinking maybe this could be like a plains biome. Yeah. Okay. That's all I got for that. Let's think about this next page here. Hmm. We'll start with a big panel here. That'll be the staircase. And then also the sun is going to be setting over the course of this page. Honestly, like, since there's no dialogue here, I can just make the panels whatever I want. Like, this is just a good opportunity to try different compositions with different panel sizes. That's another thing I really like about making comics. Like, a lot of the art that I did before I started this was just like square. Like I used a square canvas like this, which really limits the kind of compositions that you can do. So I feel like this is helping a lot. Okay. Actually, so the amount of panels that you have on your page dictates how much time passes. At least I think that's how it works. I know space equals time in comics, but I feel like for this, we want to stick with just a few really big panels because we want to sort of communicate the atmosphere more than anything else. Let's do one really wide one. Let's just make them all like wide panels. Yeah. Okay. Staircase. I guess the rule of Z would still apply because it's not really about words, it's about how the reader's eye passes down the page, regardless of if there are texts or images on the page. So anyway, those are going to be our focal points. And we can consider moving forward. Let's also do the rule of thirds. Not exactly perfect, but it's fine. Hmm. Okay, so this is going to be the panel that shows the back facade of this huge factory. Let's just draw like a quick little perspective grid. This could be the entrance. These lines go straight up. Which way would that line go? Oh no. Is that correct? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Also, these would converge, I think. Wait. Hmm. This is weirding me out. Let's add some of the bridges, maybe. Could help. These need to be at an angle. Okay. That is good enough, I think. All right. I have to open the page that shows the front side of this factory. Because I want it to be somewhat similar to that. Let's have a pillar, smokestack, castle tower thing up here. Something about this corner right here is throwing me off. I feel like it's like jutting out way too much. It is jutting out way too much. I think that's better. Let's see. Now I'm gonna have to draw this staircase in perspective. Oh my gosh. We'll just start here and then go diagonal, maybe. And then this one needs to go farther. Okay, that actually went a lot better than I thought it would. Cool. I'm gonna just scooch this line right here. Maybe rotate you. Rotate you. And then rotate you. We're so close to greatness. Just gonna make the ankle start really small and extend really wide. Okay. Uh, clean this up, and then this is a straight line. Set straight line, and then move this out to the corner. That's what we're gonna do. Let's use the line tool, make this easier on ourselves. Okay, nice. Gonna have to draw a lot of straight lines here. Oh, and these are actually gonna change an angle the further down they go. Yeah, more like that. Okay. Awesome. I'm actually really liking how this is turning out. Oh, no. No. This entrance is screwed up. It's screwed up. I want to make these two lines completely parallel. Okay, that was the solution. The solution. Could add bricks to this. Or not. That looks kind of ugly. They have to be used sparingly. Okay, that's fine. So I think we should put a character here. Maybe Faye looking wistfully out on the environment. But let's finish the background first, because that is kind of the focus of this page. Add some support pillars to this little staircase. Or actually, would we want to... It's kind of ugly. I don't know, just having like a triangle like this upstairs. Like for some reason, I feel like it would be more appealing to have something like that. Like a roller coaster. Okay, but wait, let's think about this. Could we do one of these type deal? Okay. That actually adds a lot, so never mind. We're keeping it. But again, now the issue is this isn't really leaving a bunch of room for the pipes that I wanted to add. Let's put the horizon line down here. Okay. Pipe. Maybe have another one like right here. And this one would be more up close so we can show that it's like a sewer grate. And there's pollution being spread. Okay. I really like that original sketch that I did. I wish I had that back. Okay. That should work. We'd probably be at a smaller scale than this though. First let's adjust the head so that doesn't look like he has a huge long neck. Yeah. Can have the head right on the focal point here. Which doesn't really work with the whole rule of thirds thing that we set up, but I do think it's cool that there's a vertex. It's like almost exactly at this intersection. That is pretty neat. Okay. And then of course the sky we can fill up with clouds and stuff. It'll add to it too. Alright. Turn the opacity down here. Yeah, let's get started. Okay. feel like this maybe needs to stick out a bit more. Eh. Okay, I like these arms. Hmm. All right. Gonna have the hands start down here. Good. Backpack. There you go. Do an ear, even though it's not going to be shown here at all. Oh god, okay. This is the second Screamo song that has showed up during this stream, and I'm kind of not feeling it tonight. Let's go back to some more ambient stuff. Nostril. There you go. Cool. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna have to use the bathroom pretty soon. I'm drinking a lot of water. Okay. Okay, get rid of that. This can go. This can go. Flip it. How does it look? I don't know if there's much to be done here, actually. does he look now? Okay. Stuff is getting a bit distracting, so his arms look like unnaturally long here, but I kind of like it. Let's do some clouds. Good. Um, yeah, I do like the idea of having just like one cloud up here. That's the closest of them all. How do I make it appealing though? Uh, might have to just leave it at that. Okay. I think that's this panel done. On to the next one. I think for this panel, maybe we could have like just like their heads on either side, and then like the factory in the distance behind them, which kind of means the same thing, being a bit redundant. Oh, actually, no. Something could be far ahead of you in the distance. So, oh, yeah. This panel could just be like their heads in the factory, and then this could show more of the terrain of this area that they're in. Actually, wait. For this panel, we could probably show a bit of the ocean as well. Or actually, let's think about this. Let's think about this. What if the land just extends out this way, and it could be like half built on land, half built in the ocean? That could be interesting. Yeah, let's stick with that. I'm still gonna be altering this though. So the coastline is like right there. I have no idea how I'm actually going to draw the land for this, because it looks really nondescript as is. I know I want there to be a lot of grass. Like, it's going to be like these basically fields of grass with pools of water. But I'm not sure if that probably is something I should include in the line art. It's going to be these fields of like golden grass, kind of like the start of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It's kind of the vibe I'm going for. Okay. Yeah, it is too bad. It really is too bad that this panel is so short. Because I feel like with short panels you I'm just not a fan. Okay. Mm, what expression do I want to go for here? I think definitely like a more, I guess, reserved and calm sort of look. Like, sort of lowered eyelids. Mm, I don't really like extending the lower eyelash all the way like that. Okay, cool. She looks very sleepy. I think I have to include more of her iris. It's better. Okay. It's almost midnight. Probably gonna end stream at like 1. I think I could probably finish this whole page in the next hour or so. Okay. Good. I think just simply rotating this could help. Hmm. I think I actually liked it better before. Yeah. Okay. Zoom this out. Okay, cool. I don't know if those are worth keeping or not. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I literally ate like right before I started stream, and I'm already hungry again. What the heck? I've only been going for like 2.5 hours. I guess I'm using up a lot of brain power. This needs to be like more pronounced. All right. Can I just do something like this? I feel like this armor is maybe like too big. Okay. This doesn't really indicate that she's walking. It kind of looks like she's just standing. Okay, so that's about the biggest we can make that. Which that's still readable if we zoom all the way out, I think. Okay. Here we go again. What am I doing here? That's better. Hmm. This is close to the expression that I want. I think it's the mouth that's off. Okay, better. Also let's squash it. Squash it. No. Hmm. How can I do this? I really still want this like nose line to be visible for some reason. No. Way too far. Okay. I want these two spikes to like be the same length, like sort of connect up. Erase that. Erase that. Actually, no, I think we still need these. Yeah. Forgot what song this was for a second. I was like, what? And no, he's gonna get cropped out of the panel. Cannot have that. Okay. Good. Okay, we actually could include the horizon line here. At first I was thinking like it's gonna be so zoomed in that we're not even gonna be able to see the ground, you know? But I changed my mind. We have like this grass. Then we have this factory. Let's look at this again. Okay. Something like this. Hmm. Looks something like this. And we have a bunch more. Actually, we probably don't need to add a ton. Get overcomplicated. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add. Okay. Moving on. Uh, okay, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. BRB. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Uh, hmm. What are we gonna do here? I literally have no idea. Literally no idea. Uh, I want to show like the ground and like the pools of water. And also another detail that I want to include in this area is like I want to have like little piles of rocks that are stacked on top of each other. So be sure to include that. I think our focal points here could just be like the characters. Um, how do I want to lay this out though? That's the thing. So, which character do I want here and which character do I want here? I think I want Lilia here and Faye here because if I put Faye here, then uh it's gonna be him on this side in all three of these panels, and I think that's just it's not good. We want some balance to it. The downside to this though is that we would be seeing Faye and then another Faye, so but this also kind of fulfills a pattern here. Like Faye, Lilia, Faye, Faye, Lilia. So it could be something like this. That's not really a pattern at all, but I think it's better than having just a stack right here. Though, that would be interesting to play around with. Like, if I wanted to show, like, maybe, like, a divide between the characters in another way, like, I could maybe lay it out so Lily would be on this side, Faye would be on this side, all the way down. But there would definitely be, like, some other changes that I would want to make to a page like that, if that's what I had in mind. This is just something that I realized as a consequence of doing this page like this. But anyway, enough yapping. Oh, I should have refilled my water too. It's okay, we're almost done. Uh, so huh. Actually, since we want to focus on the ground, we don't even have to draw the full characters. We could just draw their legs. Yeah. Let's do that. Um, I don't actually know what walking looks like. Help me. Walking pose. Okay. This should help. Um, so we can do maybe one like this. Uh, sure. And then one like that. I feel like these should actually switch places. But first, let's make sure they're at the same level. Oh god, okay. This song is like 22 minutes long, and we've listened to it multiple times. So, skip. Okay. Put you right here. Put right on the focal point. This feels a lot more in character. For some reason. Okay. I'm also super bad at drawing legs, so this will be good practice. Probably gonna have to draw their arms too, aren't I? That's just another excuse to add some more characterization. Something like that. Um, this is really tricky. So since this foot is actually going to be further away in space, makes sense for that to be at a different elevation. Okay. Actually, what if his arms are just, or his hands, I should say. What if his hands are just holding the straps of the backpack? Because I really don't want to go through and painstakingly draw the whole body just to see where the arms would look, or where the arms would fit and look most realistic. That actually looks okay though. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not going to risk it. Um. Hmm. Which leg is closest to the camera? Okay, and the reference this one is, so this is what we're doing. Never actually had to draw that before, so that just looks strange. Let me look at the reference again. Oh. Okay. Hmm. We're moving you up. That's so awkward. What the hell? I'm just gonna start from scratch. What the hell? Oh my god. Oh, how do I do this? I think this genuinely needs to be like higher up off the ground for it to work. Uh, Super angle maybe. Actually, no, I don't like that at all. I'm just gonna wait. I just thought of something way funnier. Um, she could be doing something like that, kind of like almost jogging. But wait, we gotta make sure these are the same size. Okay. Oh damn. How do I do this? I just don't understand how the rest of her armor would work in conjunction with this. It might actually make more sense if this whole thing was moved back a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna like I like this leg, so I'm gonna keep it. But let's try running pose. Running pose from side. From side. Okay, this is better. Because I don't want it to be like she's like actively jogging or whatever. I want it to be like she's just starting to do that from a walk. We've got that, we've got that. And this, the knee would be right there. So maybe just be at a lower angle. I want it to be like just barely off the ground. I think the issue is like, her legs. Like this just makes her legs look really short. So no. Like her legs are short, but not that short. If I just remove the armor. And then see, I really like the curve of the foot, like going down here. I think it makes it look really dynamic, but also it doesn't look very realistic. So this is tricky. Okay, I got it. That actually looks good. think the issue was I wasn't drawing the armor in an accurate perspective because I was just drawing it from like straight on when it's actually going to be viewed from the side. So, uh, something more like that. Hmm. Is this actually proportional? I don't know. Probably should have just drawn the entire bodies, but it's too late now. Um, we have like, uh, pools of water. Here, wait. Let's see if I can detail just the ground itself before I add anything else. Can I do that? I cannot. Okay. So there's like a puddle there. Let's include some of the piles of stones, and then the grass, and then I think we'll be done. But it's like where's a good place for this compositionally that like is not obstructive? That's fine. Maybe we can put one other one like behind her. So as you can see, like we have these little piles of stones, which sort of look like mini versions of these weird buildings that we have. The symbolism is crazy. Um, Maybe like one more right here. Sure, that is fine. Obviously, we can get more creative with that sound effect, but it's just a basic idea. So for the grass, let's have like a background that's sort of separate from all the other stuff we have going on. And we can get a bit more detailed with it. Maybe have some individual strands here. Uh, cover up any important details. Okay, good. It is complete. And I think this is a good place to end it. I just realized we did not add the sword. I have no idea how to get that to look good. I don't even know. Maybe we can just omit that. Okay. I'm gonna head out for now, but I will be back tomorrow. So